Alright, what's poppin' everybody? Swagkage here, and welcome to today's video, where we're gonna be talking about Scorch Release, Scorch Style, or Shakutan, depending on what you want to call it. Now, let me just preface this video by saying that Scorch Release probably has less lore surrounding it than any other aspect of the Naruto universe that I've talked about so far. The information that the audience is provided with is very limited, and this is definitely due to the fact that it only has one confirmed user in the entire series so far. As cool as Scorch Release is in concept, the fact that Pakura was the only person to ever use it makes talking about it a lot more difficult than I'd like it to be. Now, I know I say this about like half of the things that I talk about, but it's really true here. Now, while Scorch Release only having one user may just be an example of Kishimoto dropping the ball and underutilizing one of his own concepts, it's very possible that this was in fact intentional in order to communicate the fact that it is incredibly rare. The amount of skills only available to one user in the world of Naruto is very small. The Rinnegan, Yin Yang release, even Wood release are all more commonly seen than Scorch Release was. So yeah, that should put how rare it is into perspective for you. But I can totally see why Kishimoto may have wanted to make Scorch Release this scarcely seen by design, as it's one of the most powerful abilities that a person can have in all of Naruto. As a combination of Fire Release and Wind Release, Scorch Release is almost just like Fire Release Plus. Describing it this way might make it sound very similar to Blaze Release in concept, but trust me when I say that these two natures are nothing alike. I'll explain the differences when I eventually do a Blaze Release video, but for now you're just gonna have to take my word for it. Anyway, by taking advantage of Wind Release's ability to amplify fire-based abilities, users of Scorch Release are able to create masses of fire so hot that they cause the liquids inside of the bodies of their targets to evaporate, which, as you can probably infer for yourself, leads to the immediate death of whoever's unfortunate enough to be on the receiving end of one of these attacks. While there was only one Scorch Release technique ever shown in the manga, it was admittedly a pretty versatile ability. Shakutan Kajosatsu, or Scorch Release Extreme Steaming Murder, is an ability that allows its user to turn their chakra into physical orbs of Scorch Release. Think of these orbs like truth-seeking orbs, except without the extra malleability that those orbs have, and with the traits of a Scorch Release attack. Put more simply, these are orbs that can be freely controlled by their owner, and hover in the air around their owner until they're directed at a target. In the anime, Pakura was able to use a technique called Scorch Release Incinerating Flare that allowed her to combine all of these orbs together into one super giga massive orb, with really incredible destructive potential. I'm not entirely sure how being caught in the explosion affects a person, but I would assume the effects are very similar to those of being hit by one of the Scorch Release orbs from the previous technique. In any case, it's really cool, but I do think it can be applied in more ways than just this. While Pakura only used Scorch Release to create scorching hot orbs of chakra, I'm pretty sure you could apply it in just as many ways as you could apply Fire Release. I should mention that there is technically another technique that falls under Scorch Release, though it is a bit of a stretch. By combining Naruto's Futon Rasen Shuriken and Sasuke's Enton Kagetsuchi, Naruto and Sasuke were able to amplify the effects of both ninjutsu, creating a perfect blend of Blaze and Wind Release chakra that ended up looking something like rapidly spinning black flaming propeller blades. Now, since this is a combination of two separate nature elements, it's not technically a Scorch Release jutsu, but Minato refers to it as Scorch Release Nimbus Gale Jet Black Arrow Formation 0, though he does admit to himself that the name doesn't sound very good. This definitely shouldn't be considered a Scorch Release technique, though the effects that it seems to have on its targets are pretty similar to the effects on targets hit by Scorch Release attacks. Now, unsurprisingly, since Scorch Release wasn't explored all that heavily in the main series, there isn't anything more to say about it, so this is where I'm gonna end the video. As always, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to get updated when I post new content. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and if you have any ideas for something you'd like me to cover in a future video, of course, leave it in the comments below, and if I like the idea enough, I just might get to making a video about it. As always, thank you guys for watching the video all the way to the end. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you later. Swagkage out. Bye.